It's time for health tips. Now here's your host, Dr. Alma Jenkins.
Good evening. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Dr. Alma Jenkins, and this is Health Tips. Well, the time has gone by so fast. Here we are in the month of April already. Can you believe it? Well, before we get into that, let me just tell you that again, Health Tips would be happy to come to your church or your organization and talk about the subject of your choice. It doesn't have to be cooking. It can be a health issue, or if you have some questions that you'd like to submit to the show, please feel free to do that. We'd love to answer your questions. And also, we would love for you to send in any recipes that you have. If you have a healthy recipe that you just want us to try, send it in to us. We'll try it. And if we like it, we may be inviting you to the show to cook your recipe, or, I don't know. I think we'd like to have you to come and cook it for us yourself. Or you can just watch while I make it. Either way, it will be yours and we will give you credit for that recipe. So now if you got the recipe from a book or a magazine, then you need to give us that information so that we can give proper credit to wherever it belongs, okay? What you might want to do if you do find a recipe someplace else, you may want to modify it and make it your own and see if you can still get it to taste as good. If you would rather have your own recipe, you can still build on someone else's recipe, but if you use their exact recipe, then we need to give them credit, okay? Now, this is the month of April. What is April the month for in terms of medical information? Well, April is Alcohol Awareness Month. It is also Irritable Bowel Awareness Month, okay? So let's talk a little bit about each one of these. I'm going to start out talking a little bit about irritable bowel because a lot of you out there have irritable bowel syndrome, don't you? I bet you remember your doctor telling you that you have irritable bowel. The more you know about this problem, the better you're able to help your doctor and the better you're able to take part in your care. And when I say help your doctor, I mean you're able to tell them your symptoms, keep a little diary sometimes of when your symptoms occur or what you're eating, that kind of thing. The more you know about that, the more information you can give to your physician, and that helps us to make the proper diagnosis. Now, irritable bowel means that your doctor has done some tests already. Those tests were negative, and we call that, and we can say you have irritable bowel. Irritable bowel is a diagnosis of exclusion. So it's not the first thing you come to. I must admit, though, many times a history can be typical of irritable bowel, and we can almost tell that's what it's going to be. But we do have an obligation to do some testing to make sure it's not other things, because irritable bowel can mimic some other things. But now, if you have some alarm symptoms, what are alarm symptoms? How many of you know what that is? An alarm system is something that should prompt you to go to the doctor, not something you should just wait on. Blood in your stool. That's not consistent with irritable bowel. So you may have irritable bowel plus something else, but blood in the stool, weight loss, these are two that just cry out at me to tell you. Weight loss and blood in the stool. Anemia, when they draw your blood work, you're anemic. These are not symptoms of irritable bowel. So if that's what you're being told that you have, these symptoms, then I'm not looking for you to have a diagnosis of irritable bowel, not because of those symptoms. Now, there is such a thing as having something else and also having irritable bowel, okay? Particularly in people who have had significant stresses. Some of you have PTSD. Now, it's not just military people who can have post-traumatic stress disorder. Some people have undergone trauma in their childhoods. For an example, we've had patients come in who, as teenagers, may have had sexual trauma, may have had a devastating loss that they had trouble getting over, and it caused them severe trauma. And even in the adult life, they're still having issues about that. Okay? So these are things that can exacerbate and lend to irritable bowel syndrome, these traumatic events. That's one thing. The second thing that we want to say a word about is Alcohol Awareness Month. Now, I don't have to search far to find somebody who has an alcohol problem. If you don't have it, you know somebody who does, or someone in your family who has an alcohol problem. Alcohol addiction is one of the hardest problems to deal with. That and cigarette addiction, cocaine addiction, meth addiction. These drug addictions are very difficult to control, very difficult to get past. And it's a mistake to think that you can just decide that you're going to quit and quit. Most people can't do that. If you could do that, you would do that. Because most people don't sit around and say, oh, I think I'll just become an alcohol addict. I think I'll become a cocaine addict. I think I'll become, you don't sit around thinking you're going to do that. But like many things, as you indulge in this problem, then you become addicted. Okay? So, Alcohol Awareness Month. How can you be a force for good knowing that this is Alcohol Awareness Month? Well, for one thing, if you have a friend who's an alcoholic, you can talk to that person and encourage them to get help. You can listen to what they have to say. Many people just want someone to listen to them. They don't really want advice. And it's hard sometimes for us to just listen. Have you ever talked to somebody and before you could finish, they interrupted you? Or you could tell they were trying to think of the next thing to say before you ever finish what you're saying? That's not a good listener. And being a good listener is almost an art. You have to really work at it because times are so busy, we are thinking of the next thing to say, or we are in a hurry, or you might be thinking about what you're going to cook for dinner while that person is talking. But you need to focus on that person and what they're saying and listen. Because they might say something that means you need to call a professional. For instance, if they say that they're tired of it and they want to end it. And if you're not thinking about what they're saying, you could totally miss that. And that may be a cry for help. Okay? So it is Alcohol Awareness Month. It's Irritable Bowel Awareness Month. Okay? So I just want to kind of make you aware of that and say a little bit about those two illnesses. And then I want to talk about what we're going to do tonight. Well, we are going to do some blackened salmon. Now, we've done blackened salmon before, but I want to tell you about an experience that our health ministry at St. Mark had recently. We had our retreat, and we usually go someplace on our retreat. So this year, we decided that we would go to our destination, and on our way to the destination, which was down at Moorhead, in Atlantic Beach area, we decided that we would stop over in Kinston at a very nice place called the Kitchen Bouquet. This is located in Kinston, or Spice Bouquet, right? Spice Bouquet. And it's located in Kinston. And I want to give a shout out to them because they were so helpful. We went there. They do a cooking class. You sit there and you watch them cook the food. Then they give you samples and then they serve you a meal. And of course they sell a lot of spices there. For instance, I had been looking for smoked paprika. And I was thinking, where will I find smoked paprika? Well, they have that. And they have a number of other spices. And so I kind of loaded up on spices while I was there. They used, of course, those spices to cook the food. And one of the things that they had was blackened seasoning. And he used it to cook his salmon. So I thought to myself, and I love salmon. You know I do. I've cooked it several times on the show. So I said, well, that's what I'm going to fix next for the show. So I went out and I bought some sockeye salmon. And you know, sockeye salmon is really, in my estimation, the best salmon. It has the more of a reddish look to it, and to me it's more flavorful. So I do love sockeye salmon, and it's very easy to make. As a matter of fact, you won't notice shaking any salt or pepper on it. And again, I give credit to the Spice Bouquet for what I'm about to do, and all of the staff there. But what he did is he put olive oil in the pan, and I'm using my my cast iron skillet. I'm gonna turn this on, and then I'm using the Spice Bouquet seasoning, blackening seasoning. Okay. Now the reason I have to show you this is because a lot of you are hypertensive and you can't use a lot of salt. Well, I never saw him shake salt or pepper. Salt anyway. He just put this blackened seasoning on it. Okay. And I made sure he got it really good coated with it. Now we also will put it in the oven at one point, because you're just going to get it, you know, blackened here in the pan for a bit, turn it on both sides, and then you're going to put it in the oven. So I've got it on. It's got to get kind of warm. So you wonder, what about the back of it? Well, we're going to do the back. When we get this top in there, the part that I've already seasoned, I'm going to put this in, turn it on the side that I've seasoned, and then I will blacken the other side. Okay? So we got to let this get, I want this to get at least hot enough that the grease is going to, you know, that it's going to start to saute, I would say. All right? That's not quite ready yet. It's not quite ready. But you know, once it does get ready, the cast iron skillet holds heat. So, you know, that's kind of a good thing. I like cooking in cast iron. I don't know, it seems like the food just tastes really good when I cook using my cast iron skillet. Now, if I thought I had enough time, I would do my exercises with my cans. But the reason I'm not just yet is because I don't want this to get so hot that the oil starts smoking. Remember, you don't want your olive oil to start smoking, because then it's too hot, and that's going to do away with some of the good qualities of using olive oil. Okay, so I think that's about ready now. So I'm going to put this in there. Okay, you heard it sizzle. And then I'm going to blacken this side. Okay, and you don't have to let it stay in there very long. But while that's doing that, turn it down a little bit. Okay. So that's going to saute some on either side. And I'm going to get a couple of cans. Now you might see a little bit of smoke on the side there, just from the sauteing of it. Not that it's a problem with it. You may see just a little fume. I would say a little fume going. Some of that is just the sort of heat, steamy stuff, rather than the oil burning. Okay, so it's about, you let it stay about 2 or 3 minutes on each side. You're not trying to really cook it so much. You're trying to blacken it and crisp it up some, because we're going to put it in the oven. Now, what I like to do, I'm going to put it in the oven in a minute. I've got the oven on 350. And I'm going to put some aluminum foil in here simply because I don't want to have to clean the pan too much. Okay, so I've got that ready. And this stays on there about 3 minutes. If you turn it too quickly, when you put the salmon in there, it'll stick to the pan. And you really don't want that. So I guess it's been in there maybe almost 2 minutes. We'll let it go for about 3 minutes. You want about 3 minutes on each side. And I'm getting ready to flip it over in just, you know, let's give it another minute or half a minute or something like that. And while that's doing that, we can lift our can. All right? 1, 2, 3. Oh, there goes my dog. 5, 6, 7, 8. How many of you are dog lovers? I'm not sure why she's doing that. Oh, look at that. I'm gonna go and quieten her down. You watch that for me, okay? Watch that for me. What will quieten her down? Let me tell you what I use a lot of times. Those of you who are dog lovers, they love these treats right here. Now, I'm gonna let you judge whether I'm successful. Stay right there. Okay, well, we don't hear any barking. I finally found out how to quieten her down when I needed her to not bark. And I found that giving her a treat was very helpful. And a lot of dogs love a lot of different treats, but I found that using this particular Hearty Rewards treat from ProPlan, and I'm not a representative of theirs, but she absolutely loves it. She loves the chicken flavor one. So those of you who are dog lovers, you know what, dog owners, you know what I'm talking about. But anyway, so here's the salmon. Look at that. Isn't that lovely? Look, that's nice and blackened. And I have it on the other side now for about 3 minutes. Okay. We don't want to overdo it because I'm going to put it in the oven. And actually, this is about right now. Because the oven is going to, okay, now, what you do is you put it in the oven for just a short time, okay? All right, so we're done here. So you put that in the oven and let that stay in there for somewhere under 10 minutes, maybe about 6-7 minutes. It's at 350. I think I mentioned that the oven was at 350. Okay, let's do some exercise now, and then we're going to take that out and we're going to sample it. 1, 2, 3, and 1. And guess what? All I did, right? All I did was put the blackened seasoning on it. I didn't put any salt or pepper. But now, what you can do, you can put some lemon juice on there if you want. I took the lemon juice out just to show you. I don't think they put any on there, but they served it with a wedge of lemon. So you can always do that, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let me time that. I'm going to take it out in about 7 minutes or something like that. 7, 8, 9, no more than 10 minutes. Let's just say 10 minutes. 11, 12, 13. Let's do 20 of these. 14, 15. Let's see how much time we have left. 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. I love doing these exercises. You know, it just makes me feel good to do it. And if you do it every day, you're going to miss it when you don't do it. How many of you are planting your vegetable gardens now? It's about time to be doing that, right? And this year, I plan to have a nice vegetable garden. And if I'm successful, then I will show it to you. Remember, we did take you into our backyard once when we did a barbecue. I think I barbecued or grilled some veggies. She loved that treat so much she wants another. So, all right, here we go. Give her some more, she'll like that. Okay, now we don't have much more time in the oven. I'll take it out in just a few minutes. But let's do some twists. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, protein. Now, it also depends on how well done you like your salmon. Some people like their salmon red inside. I'm not one of those people. I like mine to be done through and through, but not dry, you know? So there's a little art to that. You have to kind of work with it and see, you know, what makes it best for you. And I only had that one piece in there. So if you have like a pan full, you may have to put in the oven for maybe 20 minutes, okay? Because you got more food cooking, you know, and the heat has to get through to all of it, excuse me, and still make it to where you are sure that it's not dried out salmon. Salmon, when it's dry, you're not able to really get the full flavor of it, and it's really not good if that happens. Now, we don't have a full 10 minutes left. We have, you know, somewhere around 6 minutes. So I'm going to take it out a little early. I'm going to cut through it and let you see what that looks like and see if that is to your liking, and it depends on the thickness of the piece that you put in there. Sometimes if I want a real crispy piece of salmon, I will actually cut that piece lengthwise in half and saute it, and it'll be more crispy, you know, throughout. So you can do that too, and you can blacken each side. Okay, let's just swing our arms and march. 1, 2, 3, and 1, and 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6. And I want you to try this. So I invite you to go by the Spice Bouquet on 70. And if you're coming from Goldsboro, it's like you're going to Kinston. As you keep on down 70 and you look to your left, you'll see it. I think as you're, you know, going into Kinston. And I've passed it so many times and I didn't realize what it was all about. It sits sort of away from the road, and you'll see the name on there. And if you'll call, they'll give you an appointment. So I'm giving them a real shout out tonight because we thought the food was absolutely delicious. And we don't mind recommending places that we like to you, okay? So let's take that out now and let's see what it looks like. Okay. Ooh, that's looking good. Look at that. So let's just, you know, this is about the size that you might get in a nice restaurant. And when I see this juice like that, I just pour it right over the salmon. Okay. So then let's cut into the thickest part and see if that's the way you might like it. See, I mean, really, this thickest part is good. That's not bad at all. I mean, I don't like it, you know, too red, but that is about right. There, that looks good. Sockeye salmon. I like starting from the thinnest part first, though. Okay, look at that. It's still juicy to some degree. It's not too dry. You're gonna love this. Now let's taste a piece from the heart of it, I would say. Right in here. That is delicious. Now you can always, they usually serve a wedge of lemon with it. So I'm just gonna put some lemon juice on some of it. I put a piece of lemon juice right over here. They usually, like I said, they usually serve it with a wedge of lemon. I'm gonna taste this piece that I have lemon on. Delicious. Now, if you had that plus a salad, just that plus a salad, you are good to go for lunch, okay? That is very delicious, and it's not too dry. It's just really good. I love it. Now try to get fresh salmon. When we were down, I visited the coast recently and got some fresh salmon. And needless to say, it was wonderful. And you're not shaking a lot of salt. And if you look at what's in here, all the ingredients in here, can you believe this has only 100 milligrams of sodium? Only 100 milligrams of sodium per serving. Okay? Now we did put a good bit on that salmon, but even if we put 3 times the amount, let's say 300 milligrams of sodium is not really bad if you're talking about just having that salmon plus a salad. But it's only 100 milligrams per serving. Now you'll see what a serving is. We probably had a little bit more than a serving, because a serving here is 1/4 of a teaspoon. And we have more than 1/4 of a teaspoon on here. But it's relatively low in sodium, and you're not adding any sodium. So only thing you saw me put on here, the only thing was the blackening seasoning. Okay? So I recommend that. Again, it's Spice Bouquet Blackening Seasoning. I think you'll love it. Get it to go on your salmon. And next week, we're going to use the seasoning that they have for some vegetables, and let you know about that. And hopefully you'll try that as well. So we're giving a shout out to Spice Bouquet for 2 shows. Hello everybody out at Spice Bouquet. We look forward to having them on the show. We're hoping that we'll be able to do that and have them tell you personally about what they do. Ladies and gentlemen, I am so glad that we had a chance to have the show with you again tonight. Bring your friends next time. I'm Dr. Alma Jenkins. Good night.